What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is just outside the Hemenway Harbor. Let's fish that. Alright, ladies and gents, end of February, early March. This is a time of year when it's very difficult to do some fishing. This is when the jet stream above us is in that arm wrestle, meaning that you get some warm days and you get some cold days as you have some storms rolling past. In the last few videos I've been talking about some 60-degree weather out here, but right now at the moment we're back down to our 40s. Now, of course, we're lucky here in Vegas. We do get some colder temperatures and some wind, but the rest of the country is covered in snow, whereas we're lucky with just some cooler temperatures. Now, looking at the last few years, this is typically the time of the year when I catch the most stripers out there, normally getting something like 8 to 12 a day by just throwing out some anchovies. But this year, of course, things are a bit different. I don't know whether it's because the water levels are this low. These fish don't want to get trapped somewhere, so maybe they're staying in deep, not coming up shallow. I don't know the reason why there are no stripers around, but I'm going to try and stay optimistic. We're going to throw out some anchovies out there, see if we get any. Alright, so here's the setup that I'm going to be using. On my rod we have a little Carolina rig that just goes to a little swivel, and from that we have a hook, a little owner octopus hook, and on that we got a little piece of anchovy. Just going to cast it out there, let it sit on the bottom and wait for some fish to find our little baits. Alright guys, so we got our one rod with the anchovies out there, normal Carolina rig with a small piece of anchovy. That's what I used to use out there to get quite a lot of stripers in this particular area, but this year in particular it's been quite difficult. This little pack of anchovies I have here, this is pack number 12. What I mean by that is that in the last 4 months, this is now the 12th pack that I've bought that I've not caught any fish on at all. And if you're pretty good with math, you'll know that that's something like $60 worth of anchovies that I haven't caught any fish on. And yes, $60 isn't that much, but I mean, you can buy quite a lot of lures with $60. And that, of course, kind of brings me to my second rod. While we have some anchovies soaking out there, I'm going to be using all sorts of lures. I'm going to throw them around, see if we have any fish in this area. Going to give it a couple of hours. If we're not getting anything on the anchovies, maybe try for some carp or anything. Basic idea is going to be out here and seeing what fish we can find, if any at all. Alright, so I'm showing you the little anchovy setup because I know a lot of the people that watch my videos, they don't have the time to come out to Lake Mead once a week like I do. As some people only maybe come out once a year, maybe once a month, and they're looking for a way to kind of guarantee to catch some fish. Now, sadly, there is no guaranteed way. Like I said, anchovies have been working for me rather well over the last couple of years, but all of a sudden, not getting any action on the anchovies. So even though soaking bait is a good way to find fish, if it's not working, you need to find an alternative. Now, the alternative, of course, is going to be using some lures. Now, I'm going to throw around quite a few different lures. I'm not going to show you all the footage, but on the one rod, I have a little Ned rig. I can always swap over to something like a little underspin, slowly moving that around to see if we can get any bites out of any of the bass species that we know are in these waters. So, what lure are you supposed to be using out there? Well, that's going to depend on the body of water you're fishing, and also, more importantly, the water temperatures. It does not matter what the temperature is outside, the water temperatures are what matters, whether you're going to be fishing something rather slowly, or if it's warmer, you're going to be moving your lures quite rapidly. I think we have a little duck trying to steal our anchovies out there. So I would recommend getting some way to test the temperatures of the water, whether it be a little kitchen or food thermometer, or whether you buy a fancy one for fishing specifically. You need to know what the water temperatures are and how slowly you need to be fishing. That means it's very cold, so I need to be focusing on winter styles of fishing. So even the little Ned rig, that's going to be moving very slowly on the bottom. So I'm not going to show you guys all the footage of me just constantly casting. You're going to have to make quite a lot of casts to get the attention of any fish out there. I'm not going to show you all that, but I will show you if we have any action. Again, that's just a little duck trying to steal my anchovy. I don't know if you can see him out there on the little GoPro, but he already stole my anchovy. That's the biggest problem with fishing in this type of area. Normally the fish know that there are food around here because everyone's fishing around here, but when the fish move out and there's no fish anymore, then you have the birds having a little buffet. So best thing we can do is rebait, cast out, and hope some fish show up rather than the birds. Alright guys, so while I'm throwing around some lures, I quickly want to share a few of my thoughts with you guys. Now, you've heard me talk about Fish Brain before on this channel. Yes, it's a place where I post my pictures of the fish I catch, but it is also a diary of the fish I've caught, telling me what I've caught, where I've caught it, when I've caught it, and on what I've caught it. And looking at those type of stats, I realized that I've caught more stripers at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, stripers, of course, they are predatory fish, so you'd expect them to have the upper hand during dusk and dawn. That's why we always say dusk and dawn is a great time to target fish like that. They're going to be chasing around the bait fish, they have the upper hand. So it is then weird to see that I've actually caught some fish 2 p.m. midday. Now, this does not mean the fish are out there at 2 p.m. I've also had quite a lot of days where I don't catch any fish at 2 p.m. But that did kind of give me this thought about why particular days in the middle of the day the fish are biting and other days they're not. Now, a random thought I had about that is maybe it is something to do with tides. Now, I'd like to point out I'm not a marine biologist or a biologist or an oceanologist or anything like that. I do not know whether fish in lakes can tell whether it's high tide or low tide. But it was just interesting in my mind to think about maybe the moon phases, or the fact that there is an effect on the body of water with the moon. Maybe fish can detect that and they figure out it's high tide. Maybe that's why sometimes during the middle of the day you have a good bite. But to me it was an interesting idea. You guys go down in the comments, tell me what do you think about that idea of mine. Have you experienced something similar where you have certain times where you catch fish and certain times where you don't? Love to hear your thoughts on it. And here we go again with our little duck friend. You can see him out there eating my little anchovy. Amazing how much that one little small ducky can eat. It's already had 4 of my anchovies. Well, make that 3. He didn't get the entire one. Well, let's rebait, try again. Alright guys, and when I'm talking about the little ducks out there, I'm not talking about the moorhens or the coots. There's a specific smaller bird swimming around out there. It looks like a little duck. I'm calling it a duck. It's not really a duck, but I don't know what it's actually called. So it's not the moorhens at the moment stealing my baits. It's a small little bird that loves swimming on the water. Alright, so a bit of an update. Not seeing any fish in the area. Not getting any hits on any of the lures I've been throwing out there. So rather than having lures on the second rod, putting out my carp setup, we'll throw some corn out there, see if maybe we can get some fish feeding. And as far as the anchovies are concerned, been getting quite a lot of hits from the little ducks. I had 1 or 2 hits that didn't seem like duck hits, so I'm still trying with the anchovies. Maybe the stripers will come into this area when there's some feeding happening. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like we're going to catch any stripers, more likely to catch some ducks on the anchovies. Alright, ladies and gents, we have some lovely desert colors in the background, some bluebird skies and full sunshine. It is easy to see all this and think it's not that cold, but it really is cold out here. Now, of course, I have lots of daylight left. You can spend a couple of hours out here, but I think it goes without saying that that doesn't quite make sense. A lot of the content creators on YouTube, they spend a couple of days fishing out there just to bring you that one video where they catch something, but that's not how it works on this channel. We go out fishing, we either catch something or we don't. Now, after throwing around quite a lot of lures, we had the corn out there soaking, no interest in any of the corn or the lures, thinking that I'm not seeing any evidence of any bass up shallow, no hits on the corn mean carp aren't feeding, and of course with the little anchovies, all we managed to get is the little bites from the ducks. And in some way, you can actually learn quite a lot from not catching fish. I mentioned earlier in this video that this is one of my go-to spots. It's a place where I've regularly caught fish, but seeing as we're not getting any bites from any fish, it means that the fish probably aren't in this area, and that means that the usual spots, if the fish aren't here, it doesn't help fishing here. So maybe we need to focus on moving around, finding some other fishable spots. Alright, but rather than dragging this out longer than it needs to be, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I don't say that just because it's force of habit to say that. I really do appreciate you guys watching. I still remember a time when my videos only got 50 views, so I truly mean it when I say thank you guys for watching. If you've not subscribed to the channel yet, consider doing so, joining my community. Feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments and to give me a little thumbs up. Alright, but that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.